What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode. On today's episode, we will be reflecting on 6 points on how I will crush 2024. So, pretty much what these are 6 points that I took notes of, and I will be focusing on these 6 points throughout this year to make sure that I kind of maintain growth and make sure that I'm on the same path month after month. These are no New Year's resolutions. I don't believe in New Year resolutions. I believe that there's always a new day, a new opportunity to start something new. But these are 6 things that I will try and focus on and give my attention to this year. And I know this video is slightly overdue, but it is what it is. Life got very busy the last 3 weeks, so better late than never. Right, so point number 1. This year I will really focus on networking. Now, what I mean by networking is pretty much like meeting people, traveling, building connections, building relationships with different businesses, building valuable friendship groups, exploring different places, exploring different conferences around the world, diversifying my knowledge, communicating with different people, understanding, learning, adapting, and pretty much like these things that evolve around networking. I will try and go to a few conferences this year, so I make sure that I stay in line with the current trends of the market, and overall just travel around, explore. I really need to focus on traveling this year. It will be one of the first things that I will directly invest my time in, as I believe that it gives the most return when it comes to life experiences and pretty much anything that comes with it. Another thing that goes hand in hand with networking is improving the social skills. So identifying where my social skills are suffering and basically working on improving those. Obviously, no one is perfect, so we all have room for growth, especially when it comes to being socially active in a conference or a networking event. Point number 2. Maintain a positive outlook. Now, this one is a very, very challenging one, especially on those days where you feel like shit. I mean, we can all maintain a positive outlook when everything is going nice, smooth, no problems, and like life is good, you know? But how challenging is it trying to maintain a positive outlook when shit is just going against you and things are failing, and it's literally like when it rains it pours, like those kinds of days? Like, how hard would it be to maintain a positive outlook when it comes to a day like that? And that's the trick of this point. I mean, it's challenging to be grateful when nothing is going your way, but that is, as we spoke in the other video, is like identifying the small things that you should be grateful for and being grateful for those things. It's about these small things that we get to wake up every day, health, these kind of things that you need to be grateful for. And it's in these tricky situations where mindset is key. But if you are used to trying to seek out the positivity out of everything, you may find it a bit easier to seek out the positivity even on the darker days. I'm not saying like you are cheerful and this kind of stuff, but you might leave it at that day. I mean, there are people if they have a bad day, it goes into the second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, 1 week, 2 week, and this kind of thing. So you don't catch the wave, you ride the wave, pretty much. And take anything that comes with gratitude. A bad day will give you an experience. A bad day will give you a lesson. A bad day will make you understand something. You never know. And obviously attract. So focus on what you want. So what you think about is what you attract. There's something like this. There's a quote that goes like this, where if you think of good, good will come to you. So you think about what you want to attract. and maintain a general positive attitude for obviously as much as possible. Point number 3, exercise. Now, this is a tricky one. Well, it's not a tricky one, but it is at the same time, if that makes sense. So, I am someone that trains a few times a week, like 4 or 5 times a week, maybe even more on certain periods. But for example, last December, I was really struggling to maintain a routine. What was happening was that whenever I was working on shift, I was slacking and not going to the gym. So I identified a new type of routine, which is more dynamic. And basically, I changed the routine depending on if I will be working on shift or not. So if I'm working on shift and my shift is from 7 to 7, I have to train at 5:30 in the morning. Otherwise, I would just not train at all because I'm not training after shift. And what other time do I have in the morning? So the gym opens at 5:30 in the morning. So I show up at the gym at 5:30 in the morning, which gives me 45 minutes of training time, 15 minutes to get ready, and 30 minutes to commute to work, which work just perfectly. And this is what I started implementing in the last few weeks. To be honest, it's working out better than I thought it was going to. So quite happy with that. Obviously, I still train on my days off, so now I'm maintaining a more consistent approach towards training. And for example, I had a slight injury in my foot, so I had to stop running, but I increased the gym routine. So now I am doing more strength work, more stretching, more mobility, and these kinds of things. So it's about adapting according to your needs, basically. Eat clean. Like this week, I was listening to a Nick Bear podcast, and he was talking about like how much your input affects your output, and how much like what you consume is like affecting what you output. So yes, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you are eating clean, eating healthy, like avoiding junk food, oils, and these kinds of things, your body is functioning in a better state, which obviously will affect your general output. So, point number 4, standards. Now, this is a tricky one. So, standards, basically, I used to be that guy that always was like too nice. Now, what I mean by this, I'm not saying that you have to be an asshole in life, but you cannot let people step over you. And this is what I mean by this. I had to eventually, as life progressed and I got older and I experienced more situations in life, I learned how to raise the bar and not downgrade myself to match other people. So for example, if someone tries to, I don't know, put me as an option, you just, before I used to be like, okay, whatever, but now I don't tolerate that anymore. So like, if you basically treat me like an option, I make sure that I like, you're out, you know, there's no second chances. Like that's how it is. My time demands more now, so I'm not wasting time with being treated like an option. And it's not about ego, but it's about self-respect. The thing is, like, people try to take advantage of your time, of your basically whatever, and it's about self-respect and understanding like that you deserve better. And this is why sometimes it's just better to move away from a certain type of friendship, a certain type of relationship, rather than just sticking to it and it becoming toxic, and then you build up anger inside of you because of this, and then it ends up exploding and it turns into a shit show. So sometimes it's just accepting for what it is and just moving on to a different friendship or whatever. And yeah, so basically, also another thing by standard is basically be open to saying no more often. I don't have to show up to every party. I don't have to show up to every drinking night. I don't have to show up at every Friday night getting drunk with friends and these kinds of things. Like, if that does not align with my vision, I'm not going to do it. Now, I'm not saying go to the other extreme and just like hibernate at home and not go out, but maintain a healthy standard. So instead of going out 4 times a week or 5 times a week or 5 times a month, drop that down to once or twice, which creates a healthy balance between life, basically. So yeah, another thing is like working on yourself. You have to keep in mind that you're a constant into development, so you're constantly developing, so you have to constantly keep up, leveling up bit by bit. I have this saying that you have to be 1% better every day. So that is something that also evolves with standard. Now, point number 5. Create. So, being a creative individual, obviously this might not apply to you, but this year I will focus on creating more, giving you more value, giving you more content. Obviously, this is something that I recently started on a consistent level, and I will do my utmost to maintain this consistency. I enjoy doing this type of content. I enjoy producing this, filming this, thinking about this. So it comes from my heart. Just kidding. But anyways, I do enjoy it, so I'll do my best to keep producing more. Also, another thing is like create more business work and create new opportunities, new relationships, work on different products, different services, and these kinds of things. So keep on creating and come up with a different, basically keep leveling up with regards to content, like value, business opportunities, and these kinds of things. And yeah, I mean, obviously something like that, one of the other points that links directly with this is that I need to be taking more ownership of my decisions, more ownership of basically shit that happens throughout my life, throughout this year. Take more ownership with the bad decisions, the good decisions, anything in between, and basically endure the process and endure life as it comes. So basically opening up to life and welcoming everything that comes with gratitude, grace, whatever. It's just like enduring life, the good, the bad, and anything in between, just welcoming it and learning from it, you know. So point number 6, basically read more, listen more, consume more of the good stuff, which means like obviously I'm trying to cut down on social media. So I'm trying to cut down on reels. I never had TikTok and I was never a fan of TikTok, so that's not a problem for me. But obviously we all know that reels are so addicting and you can get stuck on them for hours at end. So I'm pushing myself to be more aware of these habits and working on them, on minimizing them. Instead, I am using this time to watch more YouTube videos, listen to more podcasts, audiobooks, read more, consume more, like learn, and control the input, control the consumption. So basically, as I wrote here, learn, understand, develop, reflect, and control the input. I mean, this is pretty much self-explanatory, and yeah, I mean, it's just like I had to write down 6 points that basically I wanted to really focus on this year. Of course, these are not everything, this is not everything, and moving forward, most probably I will end up adding to this list, but this is a good start. And I can say, like, within the first 3 weeks of January, regardless of it being quite a chaotic period, I was pretty consistent with training, pretty consistent with eating, pretty consistent with business. So we're off to a good start. and I wanted to make sure that I maintain this momentum as we progress throughout the months. And also, writing down a few points here can be a good reminder a few months down the line, or when I'm feeling off track, to go back through these points, understand exactly what my vision is, and basically, like, sometimes when you get lost, you have to recalibrate a bit and get back to the grind. So this will also serve something to come back to throughout this year, or whenever I need to serve as like, okay, this is my vision, this is what I have to work on. And I do recommend that you do something similar to this, as we just talked about. Like, it can help you keep track of what you want to achieve, and then you can look back at the end of this year and say, okay, actually I was pretty good with routine. I've achieved a certain weight loss, I've achieved a certain physique, I've ate clean, and for example, with networking, I traveled, built up my business. It's now running this kind of figures per month. Like, I was decently positive this year. The standards were raised higher. I created consistent YouTube videos and this kind of thing. So these things will keep me on track throughout this year, and basically maintain like the path that I've started walking. So guys, thank you for watching. As always, I'll do try and maintain these videos on a consistent level, and I'll definitely see you on the next one. Do let me know if you resonate with some of these points, or if you have other points that you will work on this year. And also feel free to drop any video suggestions on what you want me to talk about in the coming videos. And in the meantime, wish you all the best. Guys, keep grinding, and see you in the next video.